Today we're making one of my favorite pastas. It's a pasta you generally make before service or after service when the chef is really hungry, and that's garlic and chili pasta. But first off, I want to talk about how do you make pasta. There's a couple different ways you can go, but the main thing for this is I want to show you how to use the pasta water. So when it comes to salt, we need to add salt to the water to flavor our pasta, but how much salt? Some chefs go really salty, like the ocean. Some have a hint of salt. I like to be generally in the middle. I don't want it over salted or under salted because I'm going to use this water to help create my sauce. So it has just enough salt. The other thing is temperature. A lot of times when we make pasta, we don't have high enough temperature. So what I mean by that is when I dump my pasta, I don't want the boiling to change. So right now, as you can see, lots of bubbles. It's at 212 degrees boiling. When I add this pasta, I don't want it to change. So that ensures you're making really good pasta. Sometimes if there's a too big of a temperature change, our times are gonna change, pasta's gonna be off. So the main thing, keep it at boiling. Also, once it goes into the water, give it a little mix so it's not gonna stick together. Now when you have that standardization of boiling to boiling, we know that this is gonna take 7-8 minutes. So it really makes sense to have standardization on that boiling. So let this go for like 6-7 minutes and we could start the pasta sauce. The reason why this is a chef's favorite is because we have readily available ingredients. So before service or after service, we always have chili flake, we always have garlic, we have some cheese, definitely some parsley. So this is why it's made all the time. It's just that really good comfort pasta that you just, can't get away from. So let's start it up. I have a little bit of olive oil. This is one of the few times when we do a saute, we start off with a relatively cold pan because I don't want to burn my garlic. I want it to get nice and flavorful, caramelized really slow. So I'm going to go ahead and turn it on now. Add my garlic. And I want this just to slowly cook. It's going to get to temperature. I shaved my garlic. This is just how I like it. It's going to be relatively quick to cook. But as you can tell, when you really slice it thin or use a little shaver, they kind of clump together. What's cool about this dish is look at the garlic. You can see it's bubbling, it's separated, nice rings. It just looks beautiful. And you can tell there's gonna be a lot of flavor. The smells amazing. And just let it go until it gets caramelized. Drop my temp. Let it go another minute or two and I could add my chili. When do we put the chili in? Two schools of thought. This is the first one. When you put it in when you start to cook, the overall dish is going to be hot. When you put it in at the very end, pieces of the dish will get hot. So you'll have some of the pasta, you'll get a nice small heat, and then boom, a burst of heat. So it really depends on how you like your pasta. I like it hot, so I'm going to put it in now because I'm starting to see this garlic caramelize. And once that happens, you're pretty much good to go. So this caramelization you see, nice flavor. You don't want it burnt. And this is pretty much almost ready to go. So let's check on that pasta. Okay, the pasta's done. This is what I want to do next. I'm gonna add a little bit of parsley. Now, in the US, generally, you add parsley at the end because you want it to stay green and crisp. But as far as Italians go, they really don't care about gray. They want the flavor. So that hot oil is gonna hit that parsley and give that oil that parsley flavor as well as the garlic and the chili. So I'm gonna add a little bit now. I'm also, so I don't burn my garlic, gonna add a little bit of this pasta water to stop the cooking process or slow it down at least. Now I'm gonna add my pasta. Go ahead and mix it around. Totally smell garlic, really nice. Get the rest of this pasta. I really don't mind that I'm bringing pasta water into this because we're gonna use it for flavor. But if you wanted to use a colander and bring it in later, you totally can. Just make sure you save about a cup of that pasta water. When you use the pasta water for anything, you really wanna agitate the pan or move it around because it gets a little bit thick, and that's the starch in the pasta water that's making that happen. So you can tell right here, really thick. It's not just water. As I move it across, you can see how thick it is, sauce consistency. That's what you want. I'm gonna add the rest of this parsley. A little more chili flake for pops of hot. little more pasta water. That's all she wrote. I'm gonna add a little bit of Parmesan cheese, not too much. I'm strictly doing this for flavor at this point because all the water inside of here, it's gonna make the sauce a little bit thicker. As you can see, kind of goes into the sauce a little bit more. Also, what's nice about using the pasta water with a little bit of salt, I don't have to add salt to this. I mean, it's just easy. And we can go ahead and plate up. Simple pasta, lots of flavor, a little Parmesan cheese. Something you definitely want to try. Garlic pasta, otherwise known as chef pasta.